We want to make sure everyone can hear. Is that a little bit better? Wonderful. Good afternoon again, everyone. To the Honorable Mayor of Shaker Heights, David Weiss, our distinguished guest speaker, Attorney Margaret Wong, and all of today's presenters, welcome and thank you for joining us. Just think about it. This is the place where 61 years ago, Shaker Heights again made history. And as the late, great John Lewis would say, good trouble. Martin Luther King Jr. just wanted to talk, just wanted to speak, to again share his vision for a beloved community. No matter he was not welcomed inside, the porch would do. This porch. And now we can walk up, stand on, and if we wanted, probably rock on this porch that he made so famous. Famous for us because it always reminds us of the need for social and racial justice, peace, togetherness, and hope. Just think about it. For anyone who may have been here 61 years ago to hear Dr. King, or the young children whose parents brought them here today, or the rapid riders who daily pass by, what this place reminds us of is that together we are still making history. And sometimes in the UCC way, good trouble. On behalf of Heights Christian Church, Plymouth UCC, and Eastview United Church of Christ, welcome to the porch and this year's Porch Talks. And now, Mayor Weiss.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear? Okay? How's this? Better? Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you, Eleanor, for your remarks. And to each of the three sponsoring congregations for your kind invitation to join you today. It is an honor to be here at this year's Porch Talks for a beloved community and to gather in this historic and meaningful place. As has been noted, over 60 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King stood on this porch and spoke at a time when our country was deeply divided, very much like today. His message challenged people not simply to recognize injustice, but to help build something better, what he called the beloved community. The beloved community is not just an idea from our history. It is something we have an opportunity and indeed a responsibility to practice every day. Today, our country and our world continue to face division, conflict, distrust, and uncertainty. The challenge before us is not only whether we disagree, because we inevitably will, but rather the challenge is whether we can disagree while continuing to recognize our shared humanity, whether we can truly listen across our differences, whether we can reject hatred and violence, and whether we can debate our differences in a way that everyone feels valued and respected. That is why gatherings such as this one is so important. Your presence here today is a reminder that building Dr. King's vision of the beloved community is not someone else's responsibility. It belongs to us all. And it starts right here, in our neighborhoods, in our conversations, and in our community. So once again, I am grateful and thankful to Heights Christian Church, Plymouth Church, and Eastview that have come together to sponsor this event. And to all of you who have spent part of this summer afternoon here at Porch Talks, we welcome you. And finally, we express a special thanks and of appreciation to Margaret Wong, our keynote speaker, who you will be hearing from shortly. With that, thank you and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Ken Rogers. I'm a member of Plymouth UCC, and I invite you now to join us as we read responsively the commemorative litany that you can find in your program. Today, we remember the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We remember his work for peace. We remember his call for a more just society. Today, we look forward in hope. We look forward to making a difference in our community. We look forward to justice rolling down like waters. We look forward to realizing his dream. We remember and work and hope so that today we might become more compassionate and loving. That today our nation might become more open and generous. May it be so.
Hi, everybody. We are the Greater Cleveland Choir Chapter YYA, or Youth and Young Adult Department, and we'll be singing 2 selections for you guys, okay?
Oh, how wonderful it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Oh, how marvelous it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Oh, how wonderful it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Oh, how marvelous it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. And believe in what he said. I can call him in the morning. I can call him in the middle of the night. And when I call him, he'll make everything all right. It does not matter how big the problem may be. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Oh, how wonderful it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Oh, how marvelous it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I can call him in the morning, I can call him in the middle of the night. And when I call him, he'll make everything all right. It does not matter how big the problem may be. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me.
Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me.
Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Last time. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. This is our last song. Put your hands together.
My soul
Loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless, bless his name. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless his name. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free.
When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free.
When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. When I think of his goodness, what he's done for me, how he died on Calvary just to set me free. I love him. I love him. I love him. Bless his name.
Good afternoon. I am so honored to be here today to introduce the keynote speaker for the 8th Porch Talk. Where do I even start when it comes to Margaret Wong? She is the reason I am the attorney and person that I am today, and is the most inspirational woman I have ever met. But let me start at the beginning. My name is Amanda Wilson-Orr, and I'm an attorney that has many generations of family here at Eastview. Big shout out to my family's matriarch, Nana, Yvonne Wilson. Thank you so much. Growing up biracial has given me a unique perspective. Even though my father's side of the family largely disapproved of his marriage to my mother's side of the family welcomed us with open arms, and I was always acutely aware of race. In fact, when my mother was a little girl, she met Martin Luther King, Dr. King, and there's a picture of them together that's on the piano that you can check out in the reception. But social justice and equality have been values of my family for generations, and I'm so blessed and lucky to be here today to speak on Miss Wong, who is a fantastic and amazing attorney. When I was in high school at Shaker Heights High School, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was exploring things. And one day, I went to a speech that was at John Carroll University given by Miss Wong. And at that speech, she blew me away and inspired my career path to be an attorney. After she spoke, I went and I spoke with her and introduced myself, and out of her generosity, she took me under her wing. And she has helped me through law school and also helped me to learn immigration law as I worked for her. Working with Margaret, I could see her fighting for people that other attorneys have given up on. Not only from her compassion, but also from her brilliant legal mind. And not only was she taking these cases, she was appealing these cases all the way up to the circuit courts, which is one beneath the Supreme Court, and changing the law and making life better for immigrants across the whole country. She is a true superstar. I remember one day I had gone with her to an immigration detention facility to visit one of the clients, and as we were driving back, I felt solemn. I noticed that this was such a massive problem, so much suffering, so many families separated. And I said to Margaret, how do you stay inspired? And the face of so much injustice. And she looked me in the eye and she said 2 words. She said, "Work hard." And I have taken that with me throughout my entire life. Without further ado, here is Miss Margaret Wong. Thank you.
Amanda, you are my inspiration. I've known Amanda for so long. I met her mother and her father, and his kids, I still call her the kid. And just now I said, oh my gosh, she's a mother now. I couldn't call her the kid. But it's kids like that, young, smart, brilliant, and look at oldies like us and said, oh, this is what I want to do. And inspiration just comes for old people like us because we don't want to be yesterday. We don't want to be too much that old. I mean, we earned our age. So I want to thank you so much for inviting me. This is an awesome, awesome opportunity. I get invited a lot speaking about immigration because I am that good. I really am very good. And I really love what I do. But when it comes to speaking in front of faith, like churches, temples, and I get worried because people normally, I think, and I could be biased because I'm a born Catholic, that normally people who really listens to people in churches, in not-for-profits, really is very inspiring. You don't spend an afternoon on a Saturday when there's so many C-dramas, Netflix, books, Substack, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Saturday is the best, and come listen to someone or some affair unless you're really into it. So for that, I want to thank you. And also for me personally, this... Right. Thank you. Also, for me personally, this means a lot to me. This is the 50th year of my graduation from law school, and my first year becoming a lawyer. That's 50 years ago. So when I got this thank you. When I got this invitation, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so tempting. And also, we always have to remember, I'm lucky because I came to America in 1969. Nixon and Kissinger visited China in 72 and 78. Color Coded Act came out by President Johnson in 1970. In 1965, Civil Rights Act came 1 year before, 9 months before, in 1964. So history forms us who we are, and I always believe in spite of the diversity, the arguments of today's world. Sorry. Sometimes we need things like that, like we have different religions, different faith, different gods, but ultimately there's only one up there somewhere, somehow, that gives us our fate. But I truly believe if we don't grasp the opportunity, we don't ourselves work hard, become who we are, and grab what God gave us. I've since met with some young lawyers, some professional people who are just amazing, especially those of us who are born from immigrants or first generation or zero generation immigrants. I recently, in the past 20 years, worked with 2 amazing I think they're amazing, they're really, really amazing. So because I don't normally approve of people who are not as amazing, I think, as I am. So, and I won't spend the time mentoring them. So these 2 young ladies, they by the time they were 27, 28, they got cancer. So I thought a lot about it, and I asked them, I said, gosh, you're even white, right? You're the God's chosen race. You graduated from law school. You were lawyers in Venezuela and in Europe. You came to America at such a young age. But God doesn't give us 100%. You are amazing. You make good money. You have a good job. You have the title of lawyers from 2 countries. But here you're sick. So I always look back to my friends, and I said, you couldn't just think, why does it happen to me? It happens to me because they know, upstairs know, we can take it, and they give us an opportunity to become stronger. And with all this, why do I choose the topic of faith? and men. Personally, as years go on, I'm actually, this one issue I became very frustrated, especially now that I'm at a stage of life where it's not like when I was in my 20s, and I don't know if anybody read, I'm sure a lot of you read Gail Sheehy's Passage of Life. If you haven't read it, it's a very, very old book, but I was really touched by it. It came out together with My Body, Myself, or Our Bodies, Ourselves. So it's the 70s, that book. And it talks about passages of life. So here I am, only in America, that someone like me who didn't speak English, he came from Hong Kong during the Vietnam War, during the whole Gloria Steinem, Jane Fonda area, someone like me and my little sister came to America with like $100, went to school straight with scholarships and love from communities. I lucked out because being a born Catholic, my mother would never let me go to America without going to an all-girls Catholic, very fundamental, very conservative junior college. So only in America. So let's not, a lot of times my clients would complain, oh, because of this, because of that. I say, at least we are in America. So talking about faith and people and human, so a lot of people in America, and America is the only country compared to no other country in the world. Of course, the Latino, Mexico, they have a lot of drug cartels. The Iran-Contra war between the Reagans, and in Guatemala, the civil war, the blood, since it was horrible. And then of Canada, that Trump wants to take in as a 51st state. And you have Europe. Europe has a very, very old culture. The Romans, the French, the Revolution. But America is the only country in the world that's very young and amazing. On the other hand, though, America really have to work harder than ever, because if you look at America, we stopped being the manufacturing base. Manufacture makes things. America become the financial center of the world, but we are also falling. The financial center means that you use money to make money. Ultimately, everything in the world is finite, except love and God. Money will be finite. If America keep using money to make money and encourage commercialism, that's really, I think, totally one day it'll be very difficult. And also America, the tax rate actually is pretty low compared to Canada. The tax rate in Canada is high, but we're wasting our tax dollars on things, I think, like the war and stuff. I mean, I know it's politics. So coming back to our topic of today, immigration is sort of a weird place because man-made immigration. Human beings are made by God by pregnancy, right? We have human body. But what is immigration then? Immigration is a piece of paper to allow you to live and work in America. In immigration lingos, we call them 551, the immigration green card, the 765, the work permit. So ultimately, American politics and American customs and cultures and history, like the Chinese came to America in the 1820s to start building the railroads, the Chinese people, and to avoid looking too Chinese in America, like Trump now, they don't want us to look anything but really what he wants us to look at. So the Chinese people came in 1920s, 1820s, but we have no women. So there are tons and tons of books and C-drama on in those days. You know, it's like the 58th woman came to America from San Francisco. Actually, if you like to read, look at Lisa C's book, Lisa. She's white, but I think she married an Asian. I love her books. Now she just came out with a new one about a year ago, so read that book. And she talks about how to go to mountains and stuff like that. So immigration is like the merging of you have Eastern Europeans, the Bulgarians, the Moldovas, and then of course the Russians, the Ukrainians, and the Soviet Union. Nowadays, if you're from Moldova and you're my age, you cannot even get a passport because Moldova is not going to give you a passport. There's no more Soviet Union to give you a passport. So it's good. Under Biden and under Obama, who is really the deporter-in-chief, I represented the whole Obama family, and I had to fight so hard, and his family, but he is a great president. So these are things that I want to remind people. What is immigration? Immigration is really a man-made piece of paper to allow us to stay in America. And people make it now into criminal. They put people like us in jail, and it's very difficult to get them out of jail, especially from Louisiana, Houston, Texas, Mississippi. That's a 5th and 8th Circuit. It's really, really bad. But Ohio just came up with an amazing 6th Circuit law. So those of you who know these judges in the federal U.S. District Court in Cincinnati and Cleveland, you need to thank them. I thank them, but more it's sort of inappropriate for winning side lawyers to thank them. It's more like there's an ethical issue, sort of a little bit of ethics nowadays with heightened bar complaint and stuff like that. So that piece of paper, if you're driving, you need a license. If you're flying out of America international, you need a passport and a visa, right? So if you want to stay in America, you need that work permit or that green card or a passport who's American passport. So if you're born here, you get a passport. That's an international and national recognized country ID. So that is immigration. It's that simple. People say, oh, what is deportation, this and that, because especially in Mexico, it's not fair, because on the northern border, it's all Canada. So Canadians coming to America is just like we going to Montreal, we going to Toronto. You just bring a passport, you go. You don't need a visa because there's a treaty between both of us. Can you hear me? It's okay. But from Mexico, America is surrounded southern by Mexico, Arizona, Texas, and Florida. So we always ask, oh, did you come undocumented? The old word is legal, now it's undocumented, but it doesn't matter, you came without a visa. There's also a new law that just came out last year. It's called, and it's about inspection. So now the laws are really changing. So instead of negotiating or arguing with the government in America now, lawyers like us, we work with them. We make lemonade from lemon. So instead of saying, oh, you couldn't get a green card because it came undocumented, but I volunteered at the border. I say, hello, I'm here, let me in. So if they let us in, even though it's a way to come illegally, now we're arguing it's inspected, so I should get a green card. Cuba have always had that Cuban Adjustment Act saying that if you are from Cuba, if you touch soil, you can immediately become a green card after 1 year. But Trump also sort of took it. Actually, that started with Biden. So immigration is really that one piece of paper. It's that simple. So coming back to faith and men, one thing that really bothered me through the people always ask, what do you regret now that you're in the last passage of your career, last passage of life? One thing, it bothers me through the years because when I was younger, you have to survive, right? You have to collect money, you have to support your family. And coming from China, from Hong Kong, I have a lot of people we have to support. In fact, we supported my parents, I mean, everybody, because the world have changed. So now, if anything, maybe it's not a regret, it's a question I always ask as a Christian, as a Catholic, and as a person of faith that believes in something, how do you charge people when they're going to jail? How do you tell the wife who's in front of you crying, oh, my husband? Because these are people who, they really don't belong in jail, because immigration violation coming to America illegally is a civil law. No matter how we think of them, they really don't have a criminal record. Instead, in spite of Trump saying these are rapists and they eat dogs, and it's just weird. It's just so strange. It's unbelievable that how do you tell someone, oh, I need to charge you, this money to even talk to you? So I've always driven my office and myself crazy, but you couldn't really do work for free for two reasons. Number one, America is still a place where your worth is decided by how much money you make. What do you do for a living? To rise to the top, you have to be able to surround yourself with the best people you can find. To surround yourself with best people you can find, you have to make sure after you train them, they don't quit and they grow with you. How do you do that? Number one rule, pay them well. Give them life insurance, health insurance, make sure the families are living in Shaker Heights and not in a ghetto. Make sure they could afford to drive a nice car. So how do you do that? You have to charge, right? So to be running a successful business, you have to charge. There's only two ways to make money. You either grow your revenue by going high in fees, or you take more clients. Immigration work is so nuanced, difficult. There was a time tax law is very, very difficult. Criminal law is very, very difficult. Now immigration is known as the hardest way to practice. Even bankruptcy law that chapter 4, chapter 7, chapter 11, they change. Bankruptcy law is very much like a big law now versus immigration law. We are still representing a segment of people who are totally voiceless, who are on the end, they're really not poor. Another thing that I think is weird or strange is the media really talks about immigrants hijacked by conversations by the Mexicans and Latinos. There's so many immigrants like us who became really successful, whose children all became lawyers and doctors and engineers, entrepreneurs. If you look at all the CFOs, CEOs, CTOs from California, from Texas, all these people, half of them are children of immigrants or immigrants, be it whatever color they have. So, and that's another thing, I want us to think differently than what the mainstream, and to really know people like us. Do we shop in Costco? Costco is amazing. Costco, I mean, I don't know, I'm a big fan of Costco's, BJ's. I mean, all of us have to differentiate ourselves from someone, even the faith, right? You have Christian faith, you have Orthodox Russian faith, everything has to be differentiated. So faith and men, and I feel very bad that whenever we have to charge, but on the other hand, you have to charge to make a living. So these are my thoughts on faith and men. And I think a lot about that, especially now as my last 50 years. You know, it's sort of fun. And I don't mind if you ask me immigration questions, I'm really very good. You just have to give me the facts of the case, what country they're from, I can tell you what you need to do. I teach a lot of young lawyers doing that. And I don't know if any questions on anything on immigration. Good. Thank you.
I'd like to ask everybody to stand and sing, lift their voice and sing with me. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening watered. We have come, treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Hello, everyone. I am Kate Galuli, minister with Heights Christian Church, and it does my soul good to see all of you here gathered today. Thank you, Ms. Wong, for your powerful words to us today and for your ongoing work for immigration justice. Thanks also to the Greater Cleveland Choral Chapter Youth and Young Adult Choir for sharing their immense musical gifts with us all. Your presence is a testimony in song, and we are grateful. On behalf of the Planning Committee of the three sponsoring congregations, Eastview, Plymouth UCC, and Heights Christian, thanks to all who helped with publicity, logistics, and hospitality. I'm grateful that these three congregations choose to work together on such an important project, and that our city leadership, including our mayor and chief of police, support our efforts. And of course, thanks to all of you who came out today to listen and learn, to be inspired by a vision of a better and more just world. The work continues, and we are lifted up to be in it with you. One announcement before we close: you are invited to greet each other and our speaker and choir inside the building in the community room, which is right behind this porch. Our thanks to Vicki Morgan and Wendy Wilson-White for serving as greeters today, and for Valerie Morgan and her team for coordinating the reception. Please do join us inside for some refreshments courtesy of Eastview and a chance for conversation and fellowship. And now we close with prayer. Ever-present God, you called us to be in relationship with one another and promised to dwell wherever two or three are gathered. In our community, we are many different people. We come from many different places, have many different cultures. Open our hearts that we may be bold in finding the riches of inclusion and the treasures of diversity among us. Grant us a vision of the world as love would have it, a world where the weak are protected, no one goes hungry or poor, a world where the riches of creation are shared and everyone can enjoy them, a world where different races and cultures live in harmony and mutual respect, a world where peace is built with justice and justice is guided by love. give us the inspiration and the courage to build this world together. For we pray in faith and with hope. Amen.